She's reached out, she's doing more stories, she's reporting everything, telling him all the bad stuff, the gossip. Let's get this guy. Can I call it bully him? I mean, Coach Greg, and it's a very serious topic today. I've been called a C word, C-U-N-T, multiple times. I've been told a number of things, so many messages. And why did I receive all this hate? Well, because I'm a bully. Let's get right into it. Am I in fact a bully? I'm going to present the evidence, and by the end of the video, we're going to decide, am I the bully or is she the bully? I know right now you're thinking, well, it's got to be you. After all, you're a man. You're a misogynist. You're an a-hole. You call people out. And so, of course, you're a bully. You deserve
We're gonna
all
listen to this in 1.5 speed.
Of course you're a bully. You deserve all the hate you could ever get. And maybe this is true, but does two wrongs make a right? And so Coach Darian Bates, who openly admits that she's suffered from an ED. She struggles to get in enough calories. We'll leave it at that. She posts multiple videos where she is a coach, where she encourages, guides women, females on how to take performance-enhancing drugs. She comments on how she took Masteron and other compounds to compete in a bikini competition. In this competition, she placed last, and deservedly so. Am I a bully because I said she deserved last place? Let's examine the photos. The video. Notice how shredded she is, and notice what she says. She says as she walks, she has feather striations in her quads. She placed last, and she was told, you kind of remind us of Dorian Yates. That's how lean you are. You are absolutely shredded, which is, of course, impressive, but it's not the look they're going for in women's bikini. And as you know, my channel is about having realistic body standards. I do my best to help prevent people from suffering from body dysmorphia. And so if you're a person who suffered with an ED, do you think it's a good idea to compete in a bikini competition? These competitions encourage people to be...
So, first of all, he's 100% right. I did place last. I was way too shredded and I didn't have enough muscle mass in comparison to the other girls. I'm still proud of what I achieved. I gained a lot of muscle mass throughout my off-season and then doing the prep, but I was far too lean. And so there's nothing that he said there that was wrong. I also did say that I used Masteron. However, I don't use myself as a walking advertisement of health and fitness, and I don't walk around in the gym with a crop top and short shorts on trying to promote that this is the body that females should be trying to achieve.
Encourage people to be excessively lean. Puts a lot of pressure, stress on your mind, and it makes people oftentimes develop an ED. And so if you do in fact decide to compete, be very careful, as perhaps 50% of the competitors suffer from an ED.
It's because I ended up being far too lean for the bikini division anyway, and the judges put me last as a result. Apparently,
and if 50% of the competitors suffer with an ED, and he just said that you probably shouldn't do a bodybuilding comp if you have an ED, then that wipes out 50% of the people that are competing.
You do have a life outside bodybuilding, and there is absolutely no purpose in orientating your whole life around it. When people get in a call and they're like, bodybuilding is everything to me, and I'm like, it's really not. Like, please tell me you have deeper values than that. And I think then making sure that this journey, whether or not it's to develop their physique or to step on stage, that complements what they value in life.
apparently having your quads thicker as you walk to the front of the stage isn't a good look for bikini.
Exhibit A. She doesn't even know how to coach herself, yet you're hiring her to coach you. She seems to say, I know what drugs you should take, which ones you shouldn't take, yet she's using them, abusing them. Yes, at abusive doses, 25 milligrams of Masteron is not safe for a female, but listen to the feedback she got. She got last week.
And I did say that I regretted using the Masteron. I also said that I was misguided because I was getting coached by someone else. But yes, like I said that I shouldn't have used the Masteron.
But I said in my previous video that I regretted it, and the reason for that is I don't think it was needed. I had poor guidance and a poor understanding of my own level of androgen sensitivity at the time.
I also promote to females that they use non-androgenic compounds and get as much as they can out of them for at least their first year's exposure before introducing androgens, which I did do. I just regretted that I used the Masteron in my prep, because if I was going to use a DHT derivative, it would have been better off used in the growth phase, where I could take more advantage of that anabolic environment. But I called myself out before he did. I said I shouldn't have done it.
Place. Admittedly, she says she was too lean. She was compared to Dorian Yates. Mr. Olympia, Dorian Yates, she was compared to him. Yet, I'm the bully. I'm the bully. I'm trying to...
I will say too that I didn't have the knowledge base that I do now, and this is why I got educated, and I don't want females to make the same mistakes that I did, or I don't want females to go into something or work with someone where they don't feel confident to ask questions, or they're not making informed decisions and not advocating for themselves. A female should only use non-androgenic compounds and ancillary compounds for her first year's exposure to physique enhancement compounds. Similarly to males, you should only be using compounds that are tested in human clinical data.
Help people.
My calories got to like around 3,500, sometimes above, so yeah, I needed it.
How many of you believe that she was eating 3,500 calories a day and 2,000 at the bare minimum? She was as shredded as Dorian Yates on...
Okay, he doesn't have to believe that, but it's true. I'm shocked about how much I can eat also, but I have a hypermetabolism, and it's something that we've seen in many women and men who have gone through eating disorder recovery. You can look it up if you want to. I will put a link down here for you guys to read more into it. But the summary of it is that if you have hypermetabolism, you're likely going to need between 500 and 1,000 more calories on top of what is recommended for eating disorder recovery. That's that.
Yates on the calorie equivalent of a male bodybuilder, perhaps Chris Bumstead. But my coaching is bad. I'm just a hater. Let's see, where did this all begin? Why am I getting all the hate? I must have blasted her. I must have said horribly awful things about her. Well, let's see. She wants it. She wants it. Why do you think she's posting those pictures, those videos?
I'm not gonna lie, Greg, that's kind of a cunty thing to do. But Greg, you're not the bad guy, are you?
Here is the comment. I simply reshared her video. Reshared what she posted, what was on her own wall. And so all these negative comments, they were on her wall, not mine. I disabled the comments. She wrote me and said, hey, can you take the video down? I said, isn't the video up on your own wall? Aren't the negative comments on your wall? I'll disable the comments. There's no reason for her to read any of those comments, but I wanted people to get the message. And so bear with me, because she, of course, reported my video and forced Instagram to take it down, of which I haven't forced anyone to take their hate.
I did do that.
Of course, it's okay to bully, belittle, make fun of Coach Greg, but it's not okay for me to reshare someone else's post. And so essentially I said, don't get carried away with trying to be too lean, eat in a calorie surplus, try to build muscle, try to be healthy. And so is that a bad message? Does that sound like bullying? She is a coach.
So that's not a bad message, and I didn't once tell Greg that he was bullying me. I will say that I think that he was harassing me, and I'll put the screenshot of the messages up. I never said that he was bullying me. The reason that I asked him to take down that video was because at the time I had 5,000 followers. He had 200,000 followers. I was already receiving a lot of bullying and harassment in the comment section, which I didn't let affect me. I know that I'm full in control of my feelings and how I process things and how I let people affect how I feel about myself. So that didn't really bother me. But then when he shared it to his page, which I didn't see any reason to, if he says that he has girls that, or people that he coaches that suffer with body dysmorphia, then use them. Use them as a credible reference. Don't use me. I don't even follow you, and I don't know you from a bar of soap. But it was the fact that he was putting it on his page and driving more attention to this post that was already receiving a lot of negative comments and had absolutely nothing to do with body size or shape. It was advice on a hack squad. And that's what bothered me. And then you can see in the messages that he sent me that he was going to do a video on me. And the issue that I had with that was that my eating disorder is something that I hold very close to my heart. It is something that I have worked very hard to create a separate identity from and show people that I'm more than that, that I'm Darian, and I have much more to offer this world. For him to go and tell my story, I don't think he has the right or the place to. It's for me to tell when I want to tell it, to who I want to tell it to. And that was the issue that I had with that. And I asked him kindly not to do a video. He's done one anyway. I think also when we look at eating disorders, I truly think that one of the things that makes it so difficult for them to recover is that they struggle to find who they are outside of that eating disorder, because it just consumes them and they become so ashamed of their behaviors that they hide it. And that's why I speak openly about my story, because I want females and males to know that they're not alone. But at the same time, if we continue to reference someone to their eating disorder, then that's what they're going to be known for, and that's not what I want to be known for. I share my experience, but then, the other 80% of my content isn't related to that.
I stand next to something and say, I am not a pink elephant. People will, over enough time, associate me and the pink elephant. Replace pink elephant with whatever you are claiming you are not. Think about that for a second.
People are just going to recognize that that's who you are. So I've tried very, very hard to distance myself from that and show people who Darian is. And I myself am still learning that, and that's what hurt me. That's what I didn't want him sharing my story. Anyway.
She's trying to help people to compete, to look their best. I am also a coach. I'm also warning people of the dangers of competing. And when you are a female trying to get to single-digit body fat, looking as lean as Dorian Yates, that is not healthy. And so I tried to share that message. I don't feel it's bullying. Perhaps it is. Perhaps I'm mistaken. But does two wrongs make a...
He's 100% right. It's not healthy. It's not healthy to be at the level of body fat percentage that I am. And I don't promote it to anyone. And I don't, like I said, I don't walk around advertising my business based on my body size and shape.
Right. If that was in fact bullying, if I did that, remember, I did disable the comments. And so when I said, hey, she's looking for the attention, she's posting these videos, she's competing in bikini competitions, she's trying to win shows, she's trying to get some attention, and why wouldn't she? She's a coach, she's trying to get more followers brings her more money. She's the one that kept going. She started posting screenshots on her Instagram stories, talking about me on her channel, and guess what's happened? She's increased her followers by 50%.
I didn't talk about Greg on my channel. I also, the things that I posted to my stories, at the time that this was made, was all the positive comments that I was getting and the support from my clients and my friends that I was getting, and I was sharing them. I never shared a negative comment until recently, where I was like, this is just like, I need to start sticking up for myself, and it was just taking the piss out of it. Like, if someone was telling me to eat, it's like, I'm eating right now, I'm reading your comment, and so, you know, I would just film it and be like, yeah, cool. Like, but I wasn't doing this for promotion. And no, this isn't the kind of attention that I want. And if my followers have grown by 50%, they're following me because of the value that I give, not because they want to bully me further. Like, they can do that without following me.
In under a week. And so when I said, hey, she's looking for this attention, that's what I meant. I'm not saying she's hoping to get bullied, she's hoping to get sympathy. And so what's happening is people are simps. They're thinking, I'm a man, I'm making fun of her, and so let's make fun of Greg. Let's threaten his life, because that's okay, because he said that
I never made fun of Greg, and I never threatened his life.
He said that you should eat in a calorie surplus, not strive to be single-digit body fat. Shame on him. Just for further evidence to show that she didn't want this to die down, she contacted other Instagram channels with loads of followers, hoping they would do a story on it, because why not? Maybe it'll go viral. People will have sympathy for me. I'll get more followers and more money. All at the expense of Coach Greg. And so let's lie about what he said. Let's lie about what he did so that I can benefit. That is what she did. If she didn't...
I didn't lie to Patty about what happened, and I'll read the messages now so that I don't get it wrong. So he said, hey Darian, I actually was sent your video a few times and have it saved to do it anyway, but tell me who's Ben? And that was my fault. A friend, Matt, referred me to him, and I got his name mixed up and called him Ben. He said, and also, what did Greg say, or what was the conversation here? I'm sorry to go through this shit. I hate bullying, so I'll get on this when I'm home. And I said, thank you for getting back to me. Here's the conversation. And I just sent him screenshots of the whole conversation. So there's nothing that I lied about. And then from there, I'll put all these up. But there's nothing here where I said, like, my words to him, not at all. Thank you. I don't want to look at the stories, but is there anything I should look at from a legal perspective? That's on a story that Greg did for me, about me, sorry. Really wish he would show more empathy. I really appreciate you doing a video on it. I didn't lie about anything.
Why does she still have that video? And why does she allow her own comments? I'm not going to read all the negative comments, but they're not mine.
I have the video because the video I stand by. It was advice on a hack squad. It's got nothing to do with body dysmorphia or eating disorders. People are jumping to their own conclusions there, and people are writing their own narrative with that one. I don't have any reason to take down the video. The way that people are interpreting it is their responsibility, not mine. The reason that I haven't turned the comments off is, again, because the way that people are interpreting it is their responsibility, not mine. And these comments don't hurt me. I've had them my whole life. I've had people say that I do crack and that I do meth. I'm not even sure if they're the same thing. I've had people tell me that I need to eat again, that I need to drink, that I need to gain weight, that I'm going to die and things like that. And it doesn't affect me anymore because I know that I'm fully in control in the way that I perceive those and how I make them feel. That's my responsibility. Me letting go of that responsibility is me projecting that onto someone else. And so, yeah, I don't have anything else to say. That I just didn't see a reason for me to have to take off the comments or take down the post when I fully stand by what I said.
They're from her own followers, saying things like, hey, I think you should eat more, you'd look perhaps a little bit better. Do you really think that's people writing to hate on her, or do you think they might genuinely care? Sometimes when people try to help...
They weren't the comments that bothered me. The ones that were negative were telling me that I look like, The Walking Dead and things like that. Like, that's bullying. But
it's because they want to help you. They're not trying to make fun of you. They're not trying to belittle you. They're not trying to bully you. They actually care about you. And so, of course, people don't like it when you comment on other people. So, for example, when I say Lizzo has a very large belly and there's no...
But again, I did want to say that those comments don't bother me. These people are underneath me, and I don't think that they deserve an explanation for any of it. What bothered me was Greg telling my story and my experience when he wasn't even following me and I wasn't even following him.
Such thing as healthy at every size. People say, hey, you're a bully, you're a bad person. You should be saying, no, love yourself, you're perfect no matter what, just the way you are. Well, in the real world, it doesn't work like that. And so this was in response to her post resharing the guy hating on me. Now remember, he called me the C word. He said Coach Greg Doucette. He made fun of me as much as he humanly could. That midget, that hobbit, whatever, calling me every name in the book. Do I deserve that? I reshared her story, reshared her post and said, more important than proper form in the leg press is to eat in a calorie surplus, not being at single-digit body fat.
It was a hack squat, not a leg press.
To build muscle. She is a coach, and so what message is she spreading? If she's showing her physique shredded, getting last place in bikini competitions because she's taking masteron and getting too shredded, her quads are flickering, then is that the right message? Greg,
And that's not the message that I put out. I said in my video that I regretted it, and now I have more knowledge and a better understanding of female PED use, and I'm there to give other people a voice and an understanding so that they can make informed decisions and not make the mistakes that I did.
posted your video that you publicly shared, added a positive caption, disabled the comments. All the negative comments were under your video and had been there before he posted it. He never shamed you. In fact, everyone who watches his videos knows he's always encouraging people with EDs to get healthy. How can anyone see this as bullying? This is from a female bikini competitor. And so that is how she sees it. But the rest of you, people commenting, people threatening my life, shame on you. How do you think that's okay? Why? Because she's a female?
Again, that's not me. I never made a comment about Greg. I never made a comment about the way that, because I've seen them, I've never made a comment about the way that he talks, the way that he looks, the way that he carries himself, or threatened his life for that matter. I've never done that. I thanked Patty for doing the video. I thought it was a funny video. I thought the end was quite funny, and I think that he puts out engaging content.
A female, and so you're coming to her defense. Poor her. All the negative hate coming towards her, which are from her own channel, from her own comments. And so the coach responds to that and says, the post has nothing in capitals to do with my eating disorder. Literally, I posted the comment saying you need to eat more calories in order to build more muscle. That's more important than your form on that squat machine. And so it has everything to do with not eating enough. That's exactly what we're talking about. Greg used me.
I think there's a huge difference between not eating enough and an eating disorder, because people can have eating disorders and they can look perfectly healthy. And that's the point that I've been trying to stress as well, is that your size, shape, the way that you look isn't the only indicator of health.
Exactly what we're talking about. Greg used me as an example and then went on to tell his audience about my struggles, which he had no right to do. She herself mentions these struggles. She talks about it openly. I'm resharing what she's saying. It would be like somebody sharing the message saying, hey, Coach Greg used to sell steroids. Yeah, I openly admit it.
Again, my story to tell when I want to tell it to who I want to tell it to.
Did it. I literally did this over 10 years ago. Had a 20-month sentence. This we know from my past. But since that time, I've changed and I'm sending the positive messages. And so she responds to her by saying, as you've stated yourself, you are sharing your ED story to help other people. That's proof. As you've stated yourself, you're sharing that message. She is sharing it. She's watched her. She knows about this. Now remember, she's deleting anyone associated with Coach Greg. I have been deleted and blocked. I couldn't follow her videos. That doesn't take away from...
Should I have not have blocked him? Should I? I thought that was a pretty smart move.
From your knowledge as a coach, so why can't he comment on the obvious and use you as an example to help others? And so let's look at the dialogue between myself and Coach Darian.
He can't use me as an example to help others because he doesn't know me. And he said in the messages that he sent me that he works with many people who suffer from body dysmorphia. Use them as a credible reference.
Bates. Hi, Greg. Can you please delete your recent reel? I have been very open about my struggles and recently have gone through a health problem that is totally unrelated. Totally unrelated health problem. I'm not going to get into what that was, but it's totally unrelated. An unrelated health problem. Doesn't say mental health problem. I appreciate you showing concern, but I've received enough hate and bullying already from it. This is from her own wall. Her own wall of which she...
Okay. So about a month ago, I got very sick. I had flu-like symptoms. I had fever, chills. My body was aching all over, so I thought I had the flu. About 2 weeks later, I had to go to the doctors to get a new mental health care plan to see my psychologist, which Greg also said, have you considered counselling? Yes, and I actually provide counselling for all of my client base. But anyway, I had to get a new mental health care plan, and I said, look, I've had this flu, but it's been hanging around for a lot longer than what they normally do, and I'm feeling worse and worse and worse. I said, and recently I've gotten a lot of stomach pain. It hurts when I take a step, it hurts to breathe, like I'm struggling to lie down and sit up. I don't know what's going on. So she felt my stomach and she thought it was reflux, but she sent me off to get some blood work. The next morning she called me and she asked me to go to the emergency ward. She said that there was no signs of a viral or bacterial infection within my test. From the swabs that we did, and she said there was quite a few blood markers there that were very alarming. So for example, my liver enzymes, which usually sit around about 40 because I train often and I have that, you know, they're going to be elevated, they were in the 400s. And my C-reactive protein was very, very high. They didn't know what was going on, so I got admitted into hospital and they did a bunch of ultrasounds. They couldn't find anything. There was inflammation of the gallbladder and the liver. I've recently had an ultrasound done of my kidney and my intestines to kind of try and figure out what's going on there. My face got really, really swollen. And before you jump to the conclusion that it was due to PDs or whatnot, it most definitely wasn't. The only thing that I have taken since my show is my hormone replacement therapy, which I'm prescribed by an endocrinologist because I am hypergonadal. I had no idea what was going on, and that was very scary for me because I have then no way of preventing it from happening again. The doctors still don't know what's going on. They're still trying to figure it out. Luckily, I don't have any signs of the flu anymore, but I did drop a lot of weight, which was devastating for me because at the start of the year, I was gaining weight and I was having a very positive start to my 30s. Was very, very excited, and then this happened. But, you know, taking each day as it goes. But when this thing happened with Greg, my jar was already empty. Like, I had been very, very sick. I had just moved. I didn't have any more to give. I found a when Greg did this.
Posted this reel. She did not disable the comments. She did not delete the comments. Those comments are there. I'm not going to read them. They're some from very famous individuals. People who were concerned for her health, telling her to perhaps eat more or to get counseling. I looked to see if you had removed the reel from your wall. It's still there. So it seems it's okay to be online. I disabled the comments so that you won't read any comments on my wall. I'm also debating doing a video on your entire Instagram channel, as I could educate so much of the dangers of competing.
Okay, so this video was about who's bullying who. When he sent these messages saying that he was going to do an entire video about me, this was before Paddy had done his video. So he was already intending to speak for me and use me as a case study.
Have you considered counseling? And also that once videos are on the internet, people are going to comment. It's on your own wall and you allow the comments to be written. I'm very much curious, as I have coached and do coach so many people with body dysmorphia and so on. And so I'm thinking, if this girl deleted her own video that she's getting a lot of hate from it, I'm deleting the video for sure. Because I don't want to post a video that she would in fact have deleted, because that would show that she's really struggling. But yet it's still on her own wall. And so what's happening is she's thinking, I get to post whatever I want and you have no right to say anything about it. And so imagine this. I write paid wire and I say, hey, I don't like being in your video. You know, it's hurting my mental health. There's people who are bullying me, threatening my life. And so you got to take the video down. Does he have to take the video down? Does he force to do so? I mean, people are threatening me. It's endangering my life. I don't know if any of her commenters are writing her and saying, hey, I'm going to go and beat the shit out of you. I'm going to punch you in the face the next time I see you. I don't think anyone's saying that. And so is it okay for him to do it? And so which one of us is the bully? Let's say we both are. Let's go with it. I'm a bully as well. Which one of us is the bigger bully? Who's bullying more? Me for sharing her own video, or for him lying about what I'm saying? Do you notice how I've disabled the comments, and so there are no comments? You will be able to read any of the comments on my wall, and so you have nothing to fear. Now, all that remains as educational content so that I can help prevent other people from going down the path of body dysmorphia and thinking that the leaner you are, the better. And so the purpose of my post is to tell people.
So one of the things that I replied to Greg after I woke up to a ton of messages from him was, so when I woke up that morning, I said, hey Greg, I'm happy to organize a chat with you and I can share everything and answer questions, but at this point I do not give you permission to use me as a case reference for your own post. This may be something I'm more open to in the future, but at the moment I want it all to die down. I'm also happy to do a live with you if that's something that you're interested in. In short, I'm happy to be a part of the conversation and spread awareness. And I would actually love to do that. So again, like I was happy to collaborate with him and share my experience to help him to put this story out about body dysmorphia, but I didn't give him permission to use me as a case study.
You don't need to be this lean. You don't need to strive for single-digit body fat. And so I asked, let me know how I encourage bullying by removing the comments. I don't need to know anything about you to have the story presented to the audience of younger people who are trying to look shredded. I don't mind you doing a video on it, which I'm doing right now, but I don't think it's necessary to use me as a reference or case study. Well, of course she doesn't want that. She wants all the positive attention, but none of the negative attention. This is typical. For example, when I do a natty or not in someone, and I say that
He said before that I wanted the negative attention.
they're natty, they're very happy. But when I do a natty or not on, for example, Michael Hearn or The Rock, and I say, I don't think they're natural, they don't like it. In particular, why would they? They're not hearing something positive. And so I'm sure if I said, hey, this is the best coach in the entire world. She looks phenomenal. Look at the shred. She reminds me of Dorian Yates. This is impeccable. Everyone should hire as a coach. If you're trying to get shredded, single-digit body fat, so shredded that you can get last place in a bikini competition, you should hire her. She'd probably like that. Maybe not the last part about getting last, but she would like it because it's positive. But if I say, hey, you know, it's important to eat enough food, that this isn't the look that women should strive for in bikini, I don't like it. You're a bully. And so she reports it to Instagram. My video gets taken down. And not only that, she continues to talk about it on her own channel and on others. Because, hey, let's jump on the bandwagon. Let's hate on Coach Greg and bring all the positivity to me. Yeah, let's defend her. What a bad asshole. What a horrible human being. Can you believe what he did to you? Imagine the dopamine she's getting. Thousands of new followers flocking to her channel in defense of this poor, innocent little girl. You're simps. I was on the Jubilee channel, and they're asking me questions about people who, for example, weigh 600 pounds. Do you feel disgusted when you see somebody who weighs 600 pounds? Yes, I do. When I see that, I can't help myself. And to the same extent, I even compared it to people who are the opposite. For example, somebody is 60 pounds, and you walk and you see them. It's shocking. And so what is disgusting? Feeling extreme dislike or disapproval of something. I can't help how something makes me feel. It's not like I don't have
You can very much help how something makes you feel. You have full control over that.
empathy or sympathy for that person. I wish they could heal. I wish they could get better physically, mentally, spiritually, socially, everything. But I can't help how that makes me feel. I'm not saying it's their own fault. Many people have traumas or perhaps genetic dispositions for these things, but it makes me feel a certain way. But in today's day and age, you can't say it. Can't talk about it. And we have to act like healthy at every size. I can tell you this. When you're 600 pounds, you're not healthy. And when you're severely underweight, you're also not healthy.
I do agree with him here, and I've said that before too. I said, like, health comes in many shapes and sizes, but if it's at a risk of your health, then it's not something that we should accept as a society. If someone is extremely obese and at risk of heart disease and whatnot, then we shouldn't be telling them to love their size and shape. On the other end of that, if someone's suffering from an eating disorder, for example, I've gained 20 kilos since I was admitted into hospital. If I was 20 kilos lighter and someone said to me, just embrace it, love your jawline, love your hip bones, love that it hurts when you f***ing sit down, love that you don't have the energy to get up in the middle of the night to go to the toilet and you wet the bed most nights, that's not okay for them to say.
Severely underweight, you're also not healthy. And if you have to use masterone and other performance-enhancing drugs to compete as a bikini competitor only to get last place, it's not for you. Yeah, everyone has the right to compete, but should they? When I see bikini...
I've also said this. I also said that competing isn't for me. I don't want to step on stage again. I want to create a body that I enjoy to live in and that I thrive in. If that ends up fitting the bikini criteria, then sure. But I'm not going to try and change my physique to aim to fit into a certain list of what I should look like. In my opinion, by keeping quiet about all of this, I'm losing. Like, if someone's bullying me, I don't want to say bullying because he says that I am bullying him back, and I don't want that. But if someone's harassing me, or if someone's trying to tell me my experience or tell someone what I've been through, I think that I'm losing by remaining silent. And I don't want to put anyone down, but I think that there's a certain point where I'm like, no one's going to stick up for me. I need to stick up for myself.
I'm telling them you gotta stop. I'm taking responsibility. You have to stop. It's not easy for me to do that. Much easier to just say, hey, you look great. Stupendous. You go, girl. It's all you. You're gonna get first place.
He didn't have to say anything. He didn't even follow me. He could have just kept scrolling.
But yet you hear that voice changing. And so it's my job as a coach to save the athlete from themselves. She is, in fact, the coach. She's perhaps your coach. But who's going to save her? Is it going to be you? I don't think so. You don't have the courage. You don't have the balls. But yet I do. I make that video. But what happens to me? I get the death threats. I get the hate. I get videos made about me saying, you're a horrible person for what? For trying to help the world to realize that you don't need to be single-digit body fat to look beautiful, to be healthy, to be happy? And so it's okay, let's bully Coach Greg. Let's put him down. Let's poke fun at him. But when I reshare someone's video, I'm the bad guy.
And then you post a little quote here, which caused her to get a lot of bullying, a lot of hate online, and I'm bringing all this negativity when she wants it. She wants it. Why do you think she's posting those pictures?
Think of it. Does she want the negativity? Of course she does. She wants me to have a whole bunch of negativity. She's loving it.
I feel like he goes back and forth here. He says that like I get a dopamine from the positive stuff and gaining followers and whatnot, but then I want the negativity. And yeah, I don't know. Do I want the positivity or do I want the negativity?
Coach Greg made a video about me. I'm getting thousands of followers, and people are talking about it. Talking about me. Is she getting the negativity or am I? Really think about it. Analyze it. Where are all the negative comments on my wall? I have none. I disabled the comments. And so what are all the comments?
I'm going to stop you there because I'm sick of listening to a little squeaky rat voice. But I'm going to leave you with this.
And so I'm the bad guy. I have a squeaky little voice. I'm a rat, whatever, name calling, cook, all that stuff. You name it. How many negative things did I say about her? And so if you want to enjoy people bullying Coach Greg, go to his channel and read all his comments. I don't have time to read all of them. Of course, there are hundreds of negative comments direct.
This wasn't about Greg bullying me, and it wasn't about Greg saying something mean to me. It was about Greg using me. I don't know how to say this. It was about Greg having. I don't know. I'll just cut it out.
Did at me myself, both in the DMs in private towards me, and on his wall, and of course on her wall, but none on my wall.
Today we have Coach Darian, who is recovering from an eating disorder and likes to share her journey through Instagram, only for a maggot by the name of Greg Doucette.
And it's now Greg Doucette, and so she's reached out, she's doing more stories, she's reporting everything, telling him all the bad stuff, the gossip. Let's get this guy, let's!
I haven't shared any of the gossip. Like I haven't posted any of the conversations. I'm doing it now because like he did, but I didn't do that. And these people calling him Greg Doucette and these people saying that, you know, he's a C word and whatnot, I didn't say that.
Can I call it bully him? I mean, can we do that? And so should I call Instagram and demand it?
And if anyone has a message of me saying, go bully Greg, please, like, feel free to put it up there, but I never said that.
They take these videos down. They're calling Greg a shit. You know, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to just poke fun at people to this extent. You can't actually call someone a cunt, call them Greg Doucette. It's actually bullying and harassment. You're not allowed to do that, of which I didn't do, but my video got taken down. But imagine if I write Instagram. Hey, Instagram, my mental health is suffering. People are threatening my life. They're belittling me. They're making fun of me. And I can't handle it. How do you know if I can or cannot? Just because I talk on Instagram, sound like the parrot from Aladdin, does that mean I'm automatically that confident? What if I'm suffering in silence? And so the next time you try bullying somebody, think about what might be going on behind closed doors. What if that is the last time you'll ever see that person? And so does two wrongs make a right? Let's assume
Exactly what I asked him to do.
on purpose was to make fun of her, belittle her, to put her down. I certainly think I could have said far worse in the comment section. I think I could have left the comments up. I think I could have written her in private to make fun of her and tease her and to put her down. I think I could have called out her coaching and spoken horribly about it, but I didn't do any of those things.
And you went a little harder on the stories, suggesting that she has mental health issues. Greg, why are you being such a
Cook! She literally said in her own videos, she literally said that she's been open, honest, and transparent about this. I'm not making some bullshit story up the way you are. She's admitted this, she stated this, she's told me privately herself, and she stated she's been honest to everyone about this.
You can just look at her and decide for yourself if there's any kind of eating situation going on. Greg, those are some wild accusations.
Wild accusations that she might in fact suffer from an ED. That she might. She literally admits it herself. She's got videos about this. And so I reshare the information she provided publicly. Remember, I'm not making up some story. I'm sharing what she said publicly. And when I say maybe she's on performance-enhancing drugs, she literally describes in detail part 1 and part 2 of exactly what she's taking, in detail. And so, who is the bad guy now? Who is the bully? Do you remind yourself of a bully? If you had to write down the qualities or the expectations or what you would do to bully someone, let's say somebody said, I'm going to pay you $1 million to bully Coach Greg. Would this video qualify? Would you get that $1 million? Ask yourself, I'm asking you. And so imagine if I reported your video. Do you think Instagram would take it down? Would they? I don't know. I'm not reporting it, because why would I do that? Well, she did that, but I'm the bully. I did not bully. In my opinion, that wasn't bullying. Bullying would be doing something far worse, something that you did twice. And so let's compare the bullying that she gets to the bullying that I get.
I didn't bully him.
He honestly sounds like a fucking buck trying to justify attacking someone for wearing a short.
And that's not from me.
Disgusting. How many of you took the message that I was attacking her as a cuck for wearing a short skirt? And so this is what females do to men. They call us cuckus. They make fun of us. They make up stories. They called me a pedo. And so I don't know what a flog is. I know what a bully is. And a pedo. That's
None of these comments are coming from me.
You're a cook, though. You're a 60-year-old man who bullies people. Hopefully one day I'll see you and I'll fucking punch you so fucking hard, you old man bitch. There's gotta be a name for when you bully elderly people. And so if I'm a 60-year-old man and this young stallion is gonna come and punch me so fucking hard, perhaps he's gonna put me in the hospital. I know that some people have punched people, they land hard on the floor, and they're not here anymore. They actually don't survive. And so he's potentially threatening my life. Is that okay? I mean, Mikey B, is that really okay? Are you proud of yourself? I bet he is. I bet he is. He's thinking, I made it in the Coach Greg video. And yeah, I would. I hate you. Because I reshared her message, reshared her post, and she complained about it. And so she's automatically in the right because she complained about it. Where does it end, people? I mean, how is this justified? Yet you sit back and you think it's okay. Men are bad. I'm a misogynist. I'm a bully. I'm a bad person. I'm a pedo. I'm a fuckball. Every name in the book. But that's okay because I'm a bully for resharing what she said. If you are, in fact, trying to stay 100% natural, perhaps competing in bikini, and you don't want to use Anavar, Masterone, and all those other products that she's talking about.
This is my favorite part.
Products from Harder Than Last Time. These are not banned performance-enhancing drugs. You can use them. They will not turn you.
Okay, so again, just to finish on a final note, no one can tell me something that I don't know about myself. I have more content than anyone, okay? My boobs are fake, my eyebrows are tattooed, my lips are tattooed. I've regretted every body tattoo that I've ever gotten and probably hate them more than anyone else. I don't like the shape and size that I'm in. I always wish that my ass was bigger. I don't feel comfortable wearing tight clothing. I'm a bit of a bitch because I value myself to put myself first in every situation. So sometimes that means I'm a bitch, but no one can tell me something that I don't know about myself. The comments I knew weren't true. They didn't bother me. The only bit that I had a problem with was Greg sharing my story. And again, he had a wider audience. I didn't need more harassment going towards my post. And that's the only reason that I asked him to take it down. I asked him not to do a video about me. I said I'd be happy to collaborate with a video with you talking about body dysmorphia. That's it.
Here, tell these people something they don't know about me.